Well, I'm back with my favorite people in my
If only
favorite
the feeling were
place.
mutual.
Can you believe this, crew? Can you believe it? You know, Nick, sometimes I give a free pass because, well, he owns
He
the
doesn't own
website
us.
domain. Yeah,
Physically own us, yeah.
quite literally. I worry what that means for my future. But you,
If you shook a
man.
magic 8 ball, it would tell you the future looks cloudy.
For Tom, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for Tom.
Well, here's what we're having another app, a full app, a holiday app. I don't think
I am thankful for racing.
I don't think
This is a little. This is a little. I don't know. This seems nicer than really what I expected.
What did you want it to say?
No, I don't know. They're usually very passive aggressive, and this is, I don't know, touchy feely.
I'm just trying to
What
be
say you,
nice.
Nicholas?
I guess what Tom's really thankful for is that he's enjoying driving by not, racing shit heaps.
True, true.
You just told me I
Good racing
was
is
driving
GT4
a
though.
shit heap. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
were,
but there's been trucks in it, which truck best car in the service, no question. So
truck is
It's
life.
pretty good. Here's what I'll say. As much as you guys say terrible things about me at all times,
Mhm.
I am in a giving mood. I like you guys. I like hanging out. Okay, we're gonna move on. we have Brian Lockwood again this week. Nice enough to hang out. He's been racing with me a lot of this week, actually. Beat me 3 races in a row now, right?
Not surprised.
Is it?
yeah, I mean, I've beat Brian 2 races in a row, but
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and Manny won't race with me again so I can set the record straight. He keeps having excuses, like having a family, having to do stuff with his wife. Like,
To
it's
be.
obviously a lie. I mean, he just doesn't want to race me.
iRacing is life. It's true.
Well,
No, checks out.
I was
iRacing is life when ACC isn't life, but ACC is always life, so iRacing is no life.
tire models OP. Well, I have been racing a lot on Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week, and streaming for the first time ever. Which I was encouraged by Manny to try, and it at least was not unenjoyable. But I do like
you
that.
were surprisingly better at keeping up with chat than I anticipated. Your stream was moderately interactive, and I was proud of you, ish.
Good. That's probably the nicest thing you're ever going to say about me ever. So well done.
I feel like maybe offline I've said maybe one or two nicer ones, but I don't think that we need to let anyone know about those.
If it helps keep you grounded, Tom, I didn't watch your streams.
That's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. Though if you want to, you definitely could.
Yeah, I'm not subscribed to you, sorry.
Wow. That's fine.
Wow.
You're not subscribed to the actual podcast you're on?
He is subscribed though to friend of the pod, Nick Pato. So
Yep, I get in his text chat while he's driving.
As one does.
Throw a few daggers, see what sticks.
I don't need any daggers in my text chat. I take care of it myself. From the poor race quality. We have a ton of racing actually that we did this week, and I kind of want to talk about that. And we probably could talk about that for a whole hour. Originally, I wanted to talk a little bit racecraft. I think since Brian's here too, we can talk a little bit about his not first oval experience, but first in a long time. First serious? Is that fair, Brian? First serious oval?
If we
least in
don't count
years?
when I was 12 and
Yeah, I wouldn't.
very, very bad at this.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
count that. No,
Nothing before 18, I'd say, counts in life.
I wouldn't count that. Yeah. So my last 10 races, I just brought it up, Brian. And you raced in a lot of them, honestly. My last 10 races, I have 1 win, and you have 3, which is which I don't care for. I'm honest.
But you're
The record
surprised?
has been set straight.
Nick, you don't have any wins, and I do remember you being involved.
I do have a win today, quite a big one actually.
This is true.
Can you
This is true.
can you tell us about it?
I can't. It's highly confidential, but I
Oh.
probably won the biggest race of the year.
You want a
Yeah.
GTA race?
Oh, I have actually. Only an RC though. Manny smokes me in the special vehicle races.
What's the difference?
The RC races, you do like a remote control car. It does like big drifties around obstacles and stuff. And
Okay.
the normal special vehicle ones, they have like superpowers and you got to jump buildings and yeah, it's all a bit crazy, a bit much for me.
That'd be awesome
What?
to have an iRacing.
What?
Remote
Well,
control
I
car?
mean, now with Coca-Cola Speedway, I mean, the floodgates will open. No.
Rocket ships and Mario shrooms to block people.
Yeah, and there's a skill check with the mushrooms. You're not allowed to take them if you're over 4K I rating. So that's how we're gonna even up the races. It's in race BOP.
Well, I mean, you guys need something to equalize the grip hacks that you get at 5K. Like iRacing
This is
emails or
true.
something.
This
Fair.
is
Yeah.
true.
Sure, it's fair.
Many people don't know this.
Manny
I
would
didn't
know
get
about
them
that.
at 5K.
but,
I made my way straight back to 4K very quickly.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
stay there long enough. You have to
haven't
be
made it there yet.
established.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll join you, Brian, in the elite, the grip hack elite.
Yes.
Yeah, tune in next week when we find out that Nick has spent the week grinding and is now 5.5K.
I would worry about that. I worry about that, and I wake up in a cold sweat every night that he also is just gonna spend a couple weeks grinding on the bike and have a higher FTP than me. Like it just takes like half effort for a couple weeks to him better me in anything, which is a little bit worrisome. If I'm honest.
Bro, I haven't even been on the bike since my last FTP. That
Let's
was like
keep it
3
that
weeks
way.
ago.
Let's keep it that way.
You're
And
good.
how happy have you been in those 3 weeks not being on the bike?
Immensely stoked.
I might do some tonight. That's good stream content, right? Just me sweating on the bike, not talking at all, right?
Hot.
There's a special word for that, isn't there?
It's definitely good content. You might be on the wrong website though.
Yeah, true.
Like a only gyms or something. Is that a thing?
No, I'm not sure.
Nick doesn't seem convinced. That's probably fine.
Gym Hub, I think. Gym Hub.
Gym Hub. Yep. Gym Hub or X Gym as well.
No, but for real though, you guys both
Website.
Nick and Manny, you did a 24-hour race over the weekend, yes, at Coda.
One of us attempted one of us completed one.
Mm-hmm. So
But we were
and
there for very different reasons.
one,
This is
We
true.
have to make that clear.
I'd argue that
So-
one of you was there for SR.
One of us
yes.
was there for SR and failed
Yeah.
miserably.
Yes, that is a fair summation.
Can you tell us
Clarify
about it?
how you were there for SR,
Yeah,
Manny.
please.
So I
What
don't
was the
really want to
race?
talk about the race, but
Why were
I
you
will
why
talk
were you
about.
hunting SR. What was the race?
Yeah, come on, Manny.
I'll ask the questions here. What
Thanks,
was the
Nick.
race?
Okay, so the race was 24 hours around the Circuit of the Americas, located in beautiful Austin, Texas. The prize was for the lowest incident team. The prize was a SimLab GT1 Evo.
That wasn't the only requirement though to win. There was 2 others.
Being within 20 laps of the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And actually crossing the finish line.
No, there was one more. You had a minimum
Yeah,
lap
wasn't
time.
there a
so you
lap
couldn't
time?
just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the
jump
minimum
on
lap
the
times.
track.
Yep.
So very good.
Uh,
Actually, which to be honest, I think was actually a very good strategy from those guys.
Oh,
to
is
combine those 3, like to keep the pace, but be
I
clean
think that
and push.
for what you had to achieve to be eligible, I think that how that was set up was brilliant. I think that it was the best way to keep people from sandbagging excessively and making sure that you still maintained a competitive racing environment while people are also trying to minimize incidents, or while some teams are trying to minimize incidents. Other teams finish the race at over 120 incidents, but
So if you're saying it was all the right things and the strategy was to kind of push on, why was your strategy not to qualify?
No, we did qualify.
That's questionable.
Yeah. The driver on the line, who started our race, unfortunately had a pedal disconnect on the exit of 19. So we lost about 3 seconds there, and we qualified last.
Oh dear.
Those pedal disconnects, man. You know how it is.
And
I
so
don't,
starting
but-
from the back, yeah, me neither. Don't know about wheel disconnects either. Do you, Tom?
I know a little bit about that. Turns out.
And okay, so started from the back, going for SR. How many incident points did you have at the end of the first lap?
2 incident points at the end of the first lap.
Oh dear.
Our blessed driver, who shall remain unnamed, was very adamant that he also was only there for SR, so he could get that sweet dollary dues that we were going to that I was going to be paying when we won the rig.
Okay.
So his solution to this, of course, was that on the exit of, what's the one on the straight? Is that 9?
Turn 11.
11? Okay. So going into turn 11, which is an acute hairpin going onto the very long back straight, he decided to drive through another car. So
Why
unfortunately,
did you
at
do
this
that?
point, our road to 0x was over. The
I think it sounds like it ended before it really started, Manny. That way.
somehow we managed the race. The incident was slow enough that we didn't there wasn't any damage from it. I think we had 11 seconds on the pit stop, so it was fine. It was fine.
Sure.
So we finished the first double with I think 7 incidents. So at this point, based on our stream knowledge of checking all the other teams' streams to see what their incidents
nice.
were,
Okay.
yeah, pro strats, we were still in the lead on points by 3
Wow.
incidents at this point.
Okay.
Then at the end, so then I was in the car next for a 2-hour stint, and at the end of my double, or rather at the end of my first stint, I had only added 1 incident to this. So after 3 hours, we were in the lead on incidents. We're still on the lead lap. Things are good. It's after this point that things really kick off, and through various tragedies to befall me, the fault of which or the incompetence of which I will not speak to, we ended my second stint at 21 incidents. At this point, we're still competitive on incidents. Things are okay. It's not a great situation, but given how easy it is to off track at Circuit of the Americas, and given the fact that we had 9 hours of night to go, we were fine-ish. So our next driver, who is the first driver, gets back in the car, and proceeds to murder another car, and then at the end of his stint, I think he wrecked on the entrance of pit lane. So 5 hours in, man is not hot. And then our next driver gets in the car and shunts it in turn 3 by clipping the sausage and hurtling into the wall. And that was the end of our race.
That was quite a saga. That sounded like just overall bad.
Yeah.
I'm hearing came for SR, left not finishing the race with not very good SR.
Yeah. Yep, that's the conclusion I would come to as well.
Hey Nick, how'd you do?
Mega.
Nice.
Came to win, smoked it.
I think that you guys had over 2 minutes of penalties over the course of the race and won by 2 laps?
Yeah, correct. I can't believe you fucked this up.
One-
You guys
know.
were,
One
they were
fucking
getting
job.
like 3 laps a stint more on the fuel than the second place car.
We ended the first lap with 6x because the guy who owns the series decided that like sending us 3 wide into turn 1 on the inside when we're already like nearly 3 wide with the leader, myself, and second place was a good idea. And he gave me a 4x. So about 4 corners later, I sent him into the barriers,
Oh dear.
and that gave us I think our first 30 or 40-second penalty, which sort of
First.
kicked off our day.
Oh.
Yeah, we took
3, I
4
think, in the end, 3 or 4.
4 penalties in the end,
Um,
accumulating over 2 minutes worth of stop-go time.
I had
these were like incident penalties, like by judged
Yeah,
as
yeah,
per fault or whatever.
stewarded. Yeah.
Okay.
So the to give you an idea of what my day was like, the only penalty that I received was not for touching any other car. I received a 30-second stop and hold for unnecessary flashing and ignoring blue flags, which
Unnecessary
I'm not
flashing.
I'm not sure. Oh, and it's
What an asshole.
only unnecessary flashing at night. So unnecessary flashing
Hmm.
from sunrise to sunset, totally fine. And then once the sun's past the horizon, then it's a penalty.
I don't even map my flashy button, to be honest.
I had some feelings regarding the inability of a lapping car to pass me effectively,
Mm-hmm.
including such instances as lifting 100 meters before the end of a straight, and this fine gentleman still being unable to complete the pass, and then flashing me because I'm in his way. And then finally, like, I just stop on the side of the road pretty much to let him by, and I'm sitting there for 5 laps on his tail, within 3/10, and then I flash him once, and then 2 laps later, that's when I get a penalty because he's just parking at every apex, basically
Wait,
blocking me from passing him
So
again.
you were in a GTE, and this was what, a P2 or what? What
No,
was it?
another GTE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
I was like,
in-
how is this guy
interclass.
slow?
Are
I
you saying you were
understand.
being lapped like less than 6 hours into the race? Damn, girl, what were you doing?
Yikes.
It is what it is.
Brian, are you back?
I never left.
Oh, perfect. I thought she left. Can we talk Atlanta? Your Opal experience?
Yeah.
Can we just get a broad sense of?
Wait, brief aside. Is
uh-huh.
this actually going to be a podcast about sim racing?
So far,
Holy shit!
I don't believe it. We'll see though.
Wild.
believe it.
Starting off
Wild.
strong.
Believe it. Yeah, I just
So,
want
yeah.
I want basic feelings. Good, bad, sexy.
Oh, definitely good.
Okay.
When we started at Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a flat out track
Mhm.
for the first few laps, and it's a small lift for the rest of the time, so I figured it'd be pretty easy, right? I show up, qualifying's fine, first few laps are fine, but I am just getting smoked in the longer runs. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I'm finishing mid-pack and second split. But still, it was fun-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started running some more, and I guess learning the right line, learning how to save tires, how to use the throttle, and it's been super fun since I started to get a feel for how things actually work here.
Well, winning's fun in general too, of course, right?
Well, yeah, but it's not just that.
You had a good win.
Yeah, I
One
did.
save might it was great.
That was a pretty awesome win. It felt great, but I didn't feel good winning a second split race because I got lucky on the restart or something. But these side-by-side races that I've had, that both guys are reasonably close to the limit, giving each other room, but really pushing that whole time. Oh man, I mean, 15 laps at a time, I think I've had with a couple guys. Just looking for a little bit here, a little bit there, hundreds. Yeah, I've been really impressed. I really didn't expect to have as much fun as I am.
There is a lot of subtlety, and I know it sounds stupid, like at this point when we say, "Oh, oval's like a real racing," but like, and I think even people that agree that it's like legit, probably could be surprised at high level oval racing. But it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch you guys. I put in later on that. We saw our first 2C Opens, went all green, and it's Nick.
Oh,
it's
God.
like
It was the second one where he missed this, where he botched the entry. No,
No, that was
No,
the
no.
first one.
that was the first
so
one.
our first 2C Opens went all green, and the second one
Is he open or green? I don't believe it.
twice, and he pit in early-ish, and I pit in like maybe 3 laps later, and it ended up that Brian and the other leader, went like side by side many laps in a row, and I was gaining on like a little slightly fresher tires, and then eventually I got in the draft and we had a couple laps left, and I got a big run out of 2 on the last lap, and then made it 3 wide, but Brian had a big run up top and just cleared the guy above, and got a good exit out of 4 and 1. But it was so rowdy. It was so good. Man, it was really exciting. I clipped it too there's a clip, it's called like Brian last lap Lockwood. It was pretty good. It was one of the best C Open races I've maybe ever had. Yes, Nick.
Really?
Yes, Nick. I do have, my hair is finally cut. We had a little quarantine no cut action going. I will admit it was pretty ugly. It was bad. It was like there was no amount of styling mousse, no pomade could cure this haircut.
I don't remember the last time I combed my hair. I have to be honest with you.
Yeah, but you're just it's always ready. You're always looking good.
Thanks, babe.
Got you. But yeah, Business Tom would probably have it more to the side. Be more like a traditional.
This is more like budget Josh Ohm from Queens of the Stone Age.
Okay.
That's how
Wow.
that's how I'm interpreting it.
Why is it budget?
Have you seen the production value on this?
On this man? I'm not sure. I guess.
On this podcast?
Oh, yeah. My Justin
That you
says,
run but Nick owns?
Justin says my hair only gets combed when it's getting cut. I comb my hair.
Praise be.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. See, like at first it was a joke that Nick was like, "I own the podcast." It's like not a joke anymore. It's kind of freaks me out.
Also, brief aside, we thought that David Perel was kidding last week when he said that he bought the alternate domain, but it turns out that no, he really does own the alternate domain. So that makes our podcast a joint venture between David Perel and Nick Foster, in which we're
Oh
just
my
puppets.
God,
Capitalism at its finest, boys.
at its finest.
It was a lot to take in for me. I didn't realize he was serious until we got the group text, and I'm like, oh shit.
Jesus.
Tom, fuck are you doing?
Also, I want to clarify,
I don't know.
Lockwood, C-Fix is all about the restart. I don't care whether it's like 8 laps to go, start of the race, or last lap, or green white checker. You send that bad girl from 5th position outside high to win the race.
You know
I'm
what?
all
You
about
say that,
restart.
but in the last few races, I think I've had at least 2 that didn't have a single caution.
This is true.
Yeah.
Atlanta's been clean, Nick.
It really has.
I
It's
don't
kind
know
of
how
weird.
or why. Well,
Probably-
we had a race that had like 6 or 7 cautions, Brian.
I think it's
I guess the-
in that one.
No, I was in the green one.
Yeah. So I pitted.
Also, fuck you, Nick.
let me tell the caution story, Manny. So in C Open now you get 3 sets, just like fixed. So you
Right.
get what you start on and then 2 more. Okay.
As in 4 tires.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get 3 sets of 4.
So starters plus 2.
No. You're saying 3 sets. That's 3 sets of tires. I'm
Yes.
saying you get 4 tires.
No, you get
12
you get-
tires, I guess.
yes. Yeah, you see the ones you start on, and then 2 more sets.
Oh, so this has changed now because it was only 1 set.
This is
correct?
open.
Right.
This is open.
In
But it has
the
changed. It
open.
has changed your fix as well. You get 2 extras now. So it's not.
Yeah.
You
It
get,
used to be 1, now it's
Right.
2.
Hmm.
To reintroduce strategy, basically, because what was happening was you'd wait until 5 to go,
yeah,
take the tires then, and mug everyone
yeah.
else.
Last person who changes wins, basically. Which would have happened in the C Open race because we had a caution at lap 18. Everyone went in. I think the whole field. Brian, is that right?
Yep.
And then we had another caution at lap 40.
I'd have been that asshole who stayed out, 100%.
So the field was like not quite good on fuel from that early caution. It was close, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, after a few more cautions, it was like most of the field was between 4 and 2 laps off.
So we get a caution at lap 40. I'm leading. I'm taking tires. I'm going in. I was like, I'm
bunch of pit stop.
gambling. No one else follows me, and maybe like 3
Yeah, I
cars.
said I was going to go in with Tom, and then I saw
And
I
then
saw
you
Tom go in. Nobody
man.
else went in, so I
Nah,
just
man.
You got me.
I was like, no
That's
way.
That's what it's about. Rip
It
your friends off for the
is-
line.
It's fine. So I come back out and restart like 16th and drive through the field, and it's like, I don't want to call it an easy win because the draft's so strong in Atlanta, but like looking pretty good at this point. We go 10 to go, we go 5 to go, we get a wreck from like a lap car or something, and I'm like, ugh, just kill me. So then we're doing green white checker. There's 4 cars on old tires in the front, and like all the way back is now on clean tires. I restart like an asshole. We wreck again. We have our 3rd green white checkered that goes actually green. I somehow manage a P4 before the field entirely destroys me in 2 laps. And Brian,
You were
gets
the
P2.
only one on old tires that survived that.
Yeah,
or
you
at least
just-
stayed anywhere near the front.
You just put your truck in the way. I wasn't blocking, it's just putting it in the way. I don't know. So it was actually happy with the P4 on 40 lap old tires. Brian again beats me, went with the P2, and
Can't relate. I'm undefeated against Brian at Atlanta.
racing now.
We all know why.
Ooh. Manny, yeah, if you'd stop wrecking him, maybe.
First one, racing incident. Second one,
Uh-huh.
fair and square, boy.
Well, he sped on pit road. You think he would have
Well,
beaten him?
that's fair and square.
No,
That's
I
self-induced.
agree. I just want to see a good race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a nice close side-by-side race. We're on the last lap. I'll make a little mistake, an innocent mistake, but enough to just push up a little bit on the exit of 2, just enough that you get sent right into the wall.
Can
And,
someone in chat clip this, please, so I have it for my protest later?
Nice. Yeah. I Manny, you thought I saved Brian's life on that one where he won.
Yeah,
You commented in
100%.
the stream chat.
That race finish was insane.
Yeah.
If you hadn't made it 3 wide and you hadn't forced the 4 car to defend the bottom, Brian was in deep shit, I think, going into 3.
Hear that, Brian?
I don't think so.
Ooh. Wow, okay.
That was the one that I was side by side with the 4 car for like 15 laps at the end.
Yeah,
right?
for like
Yeah.
15 laps. Yep. But
I
the
had
the
him.
last run, I mean, yeah, you got a brilliant run off too, but it's still the shortest way around the track is to be on the bottom. So
Oh.
forcing the 4 to defend someone
Mm.
else, I think, gave you just enough room.
You can make the inside work there. Or sorry, the middle work there. the
It's
outside
weird.
Okay.
It's the first track I've driven in NASCAR in a while that is actually multi-groove.
Oh God, multi-groove back. Someone tell. all
Yeah,
the
multi-groove
guys-
back.
tell all the
Let everyone
guys.
know.
Someone post
Multi-groove
it
is back.
Gotta go dirt, brother, if you want multi-groove.
I don't
Praise
know.
be.
What's wrong with you? We all ran GT4 at Suzuka.
We did.
With
did.
with various levels of enjoyment. Am I not wrong? Am I wrong in saying that?
I would say it's fun, but it's a shitbox.
Okay.
And testing, and various levels of testing.
Yeah,
Various
various levels of testing.
Yes,
Absolutely fair
definitely,
description.
definitely. Nick, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was your enjoyment?
I always enjoy racing. I had a I'll call it an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Wow.
I wasn't having bags of fun because the thing was a piece with a subpar setup,
Oh my
and I
god, what an asshole!
managed not many laps. But
I think it's on stream. You said the set was good. I think I probably could go back and find it.
you can clip it if you want, but I don't think it's my voice you heard.
Yeah.
And
Hindsight is 2020.
I had fun. I made my own race with old Raymond or Leroy, whatever.
Yeah,
Leroy.
Leroy. Whose name is not Leroy,
not,
but
yeah.
Nick decided it was Leroy.
So we had a blast, me and Leroy, like duking it out at the end there. So I had fun. I always have fun racing. Did I enjoy racing Suzuka in the slowest possible car on the website? Not so much.
Let me.
Spoken like someone who's never raced Suzuka in an MX-5.
True.
That probably would be bad.
Pause.
Honestly.
Is it fair to say it's Suzuka best racetrack?
Fair to say,
No.
King of Suzuka, best Suzuka racetrack.
Hmm.
All right, perfect.
I like it. Best track. It's good.
Tom, choose your
It's
next
okay.
words carefully.
I like it. I don't know. Is it best? I'd have to think about that. I don't know if it's the best.
I think. Okay, how about this? Suzuka is probably the most adaptable track on the service. It's good in pretty much every car.
Agree. And it's
Hmm.
proper old school too.
Yeah.
Like it's such an OG racetrack.
I don't think I've.
Big curbs, massive bumps, tough corners, fast, slow.
I don't think I've driven a car at Detroit that I didn't like so far.
I do like Belle Isle.
Mm.
Belle Isle is a good track.
But I haven't
But
driven
I think that.
many.
But keep in mind, I said for every class. So, multi-class at Suzuka is fun. Racing F4s at Suzuka is fun. Racing the Renault 3.5 at Suzuka is fun. Porsche Cup fun. Prototype
good.
fun. You get the idea.
Manny loves Suzuka. Got it.
I really love Suzuka.
It's good.
Solid B tier track.
Oof.
Excuse me?
It's gonna get banned.
You
So
heard me.
what's A tier?
All right.
Zandvoort.
We've got a
You
few.
love Zandvoort, right?
We've got Zandvoort. We've got Brands Hatch. Belle
We're
Isle,
talking
for
about
sure.
racetracks. We're not talking about tracks you lap at. We're talking racetracks. That
Have
means
you ever had a battle at Brands Hatch? I mean,
Oh no
side by side.
I absolutely love Brands Hatch. I'm talking. I think Zandvoort is much better as a lap track than a racetrack.
Believe it or not, in a lot of cars, it's better than you think for racing. And
I guess
not-
the less downforce, the better, probably.
sure,
Okay.
sure. And I've only really driven it in lower downforce cars, so that tracks.
Okay. Okay.
But there's only 1.5 real passing spots. But once you get alongside in those passing spots, you can have some pretty serious side-by-side battles through the next few corners. And it ends up being really fun.
I'd
So-
love for them to bring the Zandvoort repave. Nick, would you agree Zandvoort repave OP?
It's actually it's a strange one. Zandvoort for me was actually really fun. I loved the old track because it was super raw, like no runoff road.
No, you
super
fuck up, you die. Yeah.
abrasive surface because all the sand and everything
So
floating
how
around.
much change other than the banked last turn?
Quite a lot because they've had to open up a few corners for F1 cars to kind of actually get through because some of the corners were really tight and bits and pieces.
We don't want F1
but-
there. It's trash.
In saying that, what they've done created its own uniqueness in a sense as well. Like the new turn 1, 2, 3. I guess it's kind of like turn 4, so the hairpin that kind of takes you down over the back or towards the back section. That now is like this unbelievable. Like when you come over the crest, you actually drop into it, and when you get to the bottom, it kind of looks like you're looking up at like a Indianapolis sort of Charlotte banking now. It's like crazy. It's not just like, oh, there's like a little bit of banking. There always was some, but now there's just kind of this like NASCAR style wall.
Yeah.
And
That's gotta be
and-
funky to transition
yeah.
from
So
a,
like,
a conventional like GT track to, oh, here's turn 2 at Charlotte.
yeah, exactly. And it's quite cool because now, like, for me, like I was just kind of running like old school lines like down low, because we hadn't tested there and everyone else had when we got there. And it's funny, like now in hindsight, you go back or towards the end of the weekend, you basically don't even brake for it anymore. You just straight line the banking, drive it as hard, like just roll off the gas, or yeah, basically roll off the gas, drive it up the banking, and then just get on the gas and run the top line all the way around. So it's no longer a corner, but it's got like this crazy style where you see like you can make like 3-4 different lines work. So in the sense that in the sense that the old track was good and I thought they'd ruin it, it's actually got its own level of enjoyment now. If they were to do it on iRacing, I'd like to see both variations.
Well, there would be. There would be.
Yeah, we'd keep it as a legacy track. It'd be the equivalent of probably Free Silverstone. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'd still get and it'd still be pretty high usage on the service.
Might be
Like, I don't
more
know,
usage if it's free, honestly.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Have you guys seen the participation on Olton this season?
Has it been good? I take it.
It's tremendous.
All right, yeah.
Every single race on Olton that I've seen, and basically every series, has split at least once. So no, participation on Olton's been strong. I really like Olton. And to go back to your point on A-tier tracks, I love Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch is brilliant.
It is good. Yes, indeed. Justin, COVID probably needs to go away before they can scan a lot of things. That would be fun. And
But Nick would have to leave his house, so I think Nick's somewhere in the middle on that situation.
Yeah,
probably makes more money when he leaves his house, though.
I like being degenerate at home.
Yeah, well, don't we all? So GT4 actually success, but everyone thinks success. That's what I'm hearing.
We had
the racing is pretty fun.
Yeah,
the racing is pretty fun.
We had fun doing it together. Although I think
yes,
it would have to be a pretty bad combo to race as a crew and have a bad time.
Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah,
definitely high on that list.
Okay, I'm gonna pitch something to you guys. You know, I'm just pitching a thing. I want to hear what you think. So this mid-December is the special.
It'll be a bad idea.
It's the. I can hear you. It all comes through the same mic. In mid-December, there's the Chili Bowl Nationals. Okay, Dirt Midget at Chili Bowl. Have you seen the format?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Have you seen the format, Nick?
Brian, have you seen the format?
I haven't.
It's cool. It's very cool.
Oh, the Chili Bowl week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually really dope. I do want to do that.
Very cool. Every night during the week they do one time slot done by IR, and then it's 60 car splits, so it's like a proper like many heats, and then the main, and then the Saturday is the real race, which is a super session of 60 cars, and to get in, it's the 5 time slots throughout the week. I know, Brian, that you probably won't have a ton of time for this because I know it's time to start really getting prepped. But like, I gotta say, as far as like dumb special events go, this is like the ultimate. It's so cool. But yeah, I'm pitching it right now to you guys, you boys, because next week is the official weekly series midget at Chili Bowl. So I thought a little we could get a couple races in, get a feel for it.
I rate that idea. It's a good idea.
I'm all for dirt. I'll send Shane a message. He's a dirt degenerate. He'll love it.
Beauty. Yeah, Justin in the chat. Yeah, well, I felt the same way, except Brian was taking me to Applebee's.
Yeah. So for additional context on our Suzuka race and it being a tale of two halves. So Tom, when we're asking him about like what times we should be running, he's like, oh, like 12s are pretty good. And then we get into the
It's fair.
session.
That's a fair statement.
Brian's
right, Brian?
doing like a 9-6, and I'm like, what the fuck, Tom?
Well, he's Pesk Boy. It's not fair.
And to be fair,
I still
To-
have
to
to
be
race him.
fair.
by like a second. So
Yeah, but
with the
12
information we
was
had
not
at the
good.
time,
12 was not good at all.
I was just trying to make you feel good, make you feel okay.
Make me feel good does not gain me I rating, asshole.
What was my best laps? I'm looking here right now.
Low 11, I think.
Well, I did
At least the race we did.
I did a 10-3
Tom almost had
last
a
night.
fastest lap than I did.
Yeah, I did a 10-3-5-3. Brian did a 10-3-3-1, but I probably can never do it again. And I had the Brian draft, so
Brian draft OP.
yeah, actually was big. But
Actually, yeah, I will say that Tom really set us up to fail in that one.
well, it started. I thought you were gonna say
my
something
first
nice.
Why? My first lap was qualifying, and he's like, 12's okay. I did 12. I was like last. I was like, oh, cool, thanks.
But you had fun, right?
7 out of 10.
It's going down. How's it going down?
I said 7 or 8, and now that like you're pushing it,
Now that we've
it's
talked
gone down
about
to
it?
Okay,
7.
sure.
Yeah,
But you will run Dirt Midget.
absolutely.
they
That'll be a
go-
10 out of 10.
Do they go official a lot? Does anyone know?
A lot of dirt goes official, but mainly
Yeah,
the rookie
yeah.
classes.
But that
not so
one's
much
that
the-
one's
C.
pretty.
I don't think it'll be that niche. It'll probably be one of those aberration weeks.
Aberration.
midgets. Like wingless is much harder
Oh.
than winged.
Volusius today split almost every time spot.
Wow.
So I think we're probably okay. Probably okay. I know that is. Ooh, even in midweek looks good. Yeah, we're good. We're chill.
How's dirt oval IR for everyone?
3.2.
Good.
Manny.
I think Brian and I are hopefully close to the same, so at least Brian and I will be in the same race.
I think, yeah, you might be right. Let me check.
Brian, what's
here.
yours?
Manny knows what his is. That's why he put down-
1491.
Perfect. We should be in the same split. Let's fucking go.
Brilliant.
Well, there's 60 car
Alrighty,
splits.
so I can take you out
so-
there too.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
60 car splits. So, I mean, you'd have to be pretty far apart to not be.
Yeah, we're pretty far apart.
Yeah, we're pretty far apart. Time for the big grind. You just got to get in. Hey, I bet you if you're in like third split, even second split for the weekly sessions for the big week, you're probably fine. Just need to win. You just need to win one, Manny.
Yeah, bro. Winning second split's like easy 100 IR.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was initially grinding a bit of dirt oval. I
Oh, were you?
was Second split bandit, only just to get enough IR to make top split so we could race with the boys in street stock.
I'm more of a sprint car man myself.
Sprint car's more fun, but the street stocks on the big, like nearly half mile tracks are awesome because you got the big long straight and you send it in. Good fun.
I'm not surprised you like that at all. You like kind of dumb shit, so it makes sense.
Wow.
Tracks. You're welcome. Well, I mean, you don't like me, so I just got to question the whole deal.
I've never said that officially.
Mm,
I think,
good point.
I think you've
Checks
literally. I
out.
think you've literally said that on stream.
No, what he said, and please correct me, Nick, if I'm wrong
Mhm.
on the verbiage of this,
Listening.
but I said I believe the phrasing he used was, "Friends between you and me, bro, is a real loose term."
That he definitely did say that. Yeah.
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 I never said I don't like you, Thomas.
We'll let it go this time.
Discriminatory, actually.
Yes, you are. So we got that. Brian.
Chili bowl.
Yeah.
H4SR Chili Bowl livery. You got one?
I will make
Oh,
one
yeah.
up. I will make
Yeah.
one up. And if
Cook that shit up.
if anyone else wants to run
Do you
and
have-
help
Do you have
us,
experience with the car / like is it fun?
I've done a couple weeks. I think
it
it's fun. I think it's fun.
Okay.
It is definitely hard, and I do not know how
Okay.
to set up the car very well. But beyond that, it's fine.
That's one pretty good thing and two really bad things.
Yep. So I think we're just gonna make a Here for SR livery. We're gonna make a Here for SR set, and we're all just gonna send it. Anybody who wants to send it with us, please do.
Please inquire within.
Please join the Discord.
Well, we
And
have to
then-
set up a special Here for SR chili
Yes,
bowl.
that would be a good channel.
Righto.
Yeah.
No, I have to
Uh,
say,
I'm
Tom's-
excited though, Nick, for someone to call out the fact that your opinions are shit in that channel because you don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that one actually, they might have a point
I
though.
don't know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, when they told
But
you you
I'll-
didn't know what you talked about, peak up. Yeah, that's not true.
Th-
But yeah,
I think that's my favorite moment on that server was someone telling Australian Carrera Cup champion Nick Foster that he didn't know shit about Peak Up.
I'm just the old touring car driver.
Brian. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say that Tom's setups are pretty good.
Yeah,
One might even say world championship quality. And
Is that 'cause he
so-
steals them from you and posts them online.
Yes. Yes. That could be why they're called world championship
No clip.
quality.
No clip.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, definitely clip.
For the record.
Definitely clip. All right, I've marked down the time on the timestamp. If I need to clip it later, I will.
Well, there was absolutely no Brian info being directly shared with the forums because
I-
I think I'd quickly
can't get
lose. I think I'd lose all my Brian access very quickly if something like that happened.
Ban, instant ban.
Yeah, and the man's he's a highly competitive individual, but the C Open set was good. The GT4 set was fine, at least acceptable. Brian made it look good. If
I
nothing
thought
else.
that the GT4 set was pretty good, and I think I might have done a lap or two on the Sebring set. I had fun. It was malleable, which is good.
But will the Chili Bowl set be good? Absolutely no promises. Will we have a good time trying to get to a feature? Yes,
100%.
100%.
Absolutely.
I
would
would love to get to 2K Dirt Oval. That would make me happy because
Oh,
that
that's-
means
rolling down the
That'll be
front
easy.
straight.
That'll be easy, Manny.
Mhm.
Yes,
because that would
Nick,
mean I would end the year on almost the same IR as Brian, just divided very differently.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'd be 3-3-3-2.
What? Yeah, you need a little.
Oh wait,
more to
no,
beat
that
Brian.
I'd still be 3K short, right?
I don't know. Brian.
Yeah, probably
Yeah, I
3K
think
short.
so.
Yeah, I'd still be 3K short. I did the math
2K
there
anyway.
wrong.
I
Yeah,
wor-
I did
wo-
the math there wrong.
I worry that Brian's quickly catching up as his oval IR increases. I was like,
Oh,
I might
100%.
already have caught up.
yeah, I was like 500 ahead for something.
And
500
Brian,
ahead. Now
wait
I'm-
until I
I
get you
think-
into dirt trucking, and I make you a bandit there too.
Please, no.
Easy 3K.
Please,
This
no.
is mad. This is mad swinging dicks. But you are 12k on ACC.
I think. Am I 12K on ACC? I might be 9K on ACC.
Or
Hmm.
9k. That's still pretty
That's
impressive.
very good. That's higher than Brian. So easy.
Yeah,
Speaking
so
of ACC,
certainly
do we want to touch on SimGrid?
absolutely.
I
we
want
had
right
we had
before
David last week.
right before we do that. We'll end with that. How's that? But right before we do that, there's just a little aside.
Okay.
Mr. Lockwood told me that he wants to maybe give Oval a little go.
Ooh.
Do some
Little
RTP
series?
action?
I don't know.
Maybe.
He's
Honestly,
considering-
if you think about it, Tom, if there was ever a year to do it, this year when didn't they say that like half the RTP schedule is going to be road courses?
I don't know about half. Probably
But-
some.
Yeah. This
That'll
could
upset
be
Maynard.
this
Yes.
could be a very interesting year to do it,
Ooh,
given
Brian,
that he's the only person who will make top split guaranteed.
Brian, think about that. Yeah. So if they actually
He'll
do,
make the SOF worthwhile.
if they
basically.
if they do the as long as they don't change something with the road IR doing splits for the RTP road rounds, you'll be in top split for what do we assume will at least be 2. Just saying.
Yeah. And
true.
you're high enough where you'd bring the SOF up enough to maybe make it worthwhile for more drivers to do. Basically, you could make it be worth enough points where the round would matter.
You just
I don't think
consider
I can do that alone, but I mean, there are going to be organized SOF races as always.
There's some
Yeah.
pretty
And,
handy dudes on Oval though. To be fair.
Well,
Sorry, there's some pretty
s-
handy oval dudes in RTP that are good on road as
well,
well.
Brian, you're assuming that it's going to be super session. It might not be, because in the past it's just one time slot a week, just one
Yeah.
time slot
Oh,
per
true.
round. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, they don't know.
So
They
what's
haven't
the-
decided what they're going to do yet. They haven't told us.
What's the minimum oval iRating typically that you need to be in a split worth any points, like second or third split, whatever it is?
Mid fives.
Somewhere around 5K?
You guys think
Mid
that's fair?
fives?
Yeah.
Mid fives, Manny.
I think nowadays probably over 5.
Yeah.
6 would be good. It's a bit like what trying to make a top split in like a special event is like now. If you're under 5.5, 6K, you're at a risk of not making a top split.
Yeah.
Top splits have definitely gotten a little weird for endurances coming up this year. Like, I'm really not sure how it's going to pan out for us for Daytona at this point.
Yeah, it depends on the class too a lot, depending.
Yeah.
But Brian, I think you need to get. I think ideally you'd be third split at least, and that's close to 6, maybe not quite.
Okay.
But you got to be up there. But then again, if you're in 4th or 5th split and you can run, and they do 1 round a week, if you're in 4th or 5th split, you finish top 5. Yeah, it won't be there, but if you can do really well in the road rounds, it's not far off, honestly.
When does RTP start?
March
March.
or April, they said, I think. Right in the middle of Pesque, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
That's the downside. The plus side,
We'll
it's
see.
oval, so you don't need you don't need 60 hours
Right.
of practice like Sandboard last year for Pesque.
No, I'm thinking if I can spare, 5 to 7 hours a week, somewhere around there.
5 probably a really competitive number there, I think.
As long as someone's giving you good set data, set directions, I think 5 hours is
Mhm.
probably pretty good. I'm sure a lot of guys do a lot more and have big groups that know a lot about a lot, but yeah, I think you can probably have a pretty decent set. You have a couple guys working 5 hours a week. It's not going to be the best set in the game, but it will be functional, I think. At Atlanta, I think it would be fine, maybe. Just because the draft's so big, but there probably will be tracks. There'll be some 1.5 miles that it'll be. Well, I will say that I think with the draft higher and us and NASCAR in general going to more road courses and short tracks, I think setups will be a little bit less important than they were in the past. I mean, still, it's going to be a big part of the game, but if there was ever a year, maybe it's this one. Okay, we can talk SimGrid now, guys. Please tell me your experiences about SimGrid. David was excellent last week.
Yes, David is uniformly excellent, but it was very kind of him to dedicate his time to taking Tom seriously, so that at least for 1 week of these 3 months that we've been doing the podcast, you were taken seriously.
Yes, surprising to me as well.
Yeah. So so when was that we did it, Nick? Tuesday, maybe? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, Tuesday night, I think. He sent me a message and got me on somehow. I don't know how he managed it, but he managed to get me on board to do one of his SimGrid events. I think they're doing them every hour. So they're literally having like a...
Yeah, for like a 5-hour period, I saw between like 5 and 10 p.m. GMT.
They do a 25-minute sprint race with 10 minutes of qualifying, not much.
Yeah, and 5 minutes practice or some shit.
On the hour, and they're working on. He's working on. What do you call it? Where you match, like driver matching. So
matchmaking, yeah. So having some kind of elo ladder or some shit where you can actually like have people ranked.
Do they quote unquote split?
Not at the moment, but that's what they're working on.
That's the long-term intention, yeah.
Yeah. And it was good actually. So David had Nick Nielsen, who's a Ferrari factory driver, on board. I jumped in, dragged Manny along, and then we managed to get Kelvin in there as well. So there was the 5 of us.
Kelvin being Kelvin Vanderlinde.
Yeah. So there was the 5 of us in the one session, and we qualified. I think, us 4 were P3 to P7.
Yeah.
And Manny was 10.
No, I started like 26. I fucked up quali so bad
Ooh,
because it
damn,
was
bro.
open quali, and I couldn't get a clean lap to save my life.
Yeah, open quali is wild. And yeah, we were duking it out over podium positions because there was some pretty handy sim dudes in there on ACC, and it was actually a lot of fun. Like the racing was fun, and I think Dave was streaming it, so we were our best Christian content. Not here for SR level of
Understand.
content. Exactly.
I
but,
think for me the most surprising thing with my experience with the event. So I started 26th. I was running 13th with about 4 minutes to go when I got loose coming out of the what used to be called the Casio chicane, but it's now just I guess the last chicane. And while I'm recovering in the car, so I start going straight again. The car behind me didn't realize that I was in the process of getting loose, so I got punted into the pit wall, and unfortunately, that was the end of my race. But two key takeaways from this experience, from a pleb point of view, being me. One, the racing in the mid pack was fantastic. It was really respectful, good, just hard racing. People only leaving each other like just enough room to still be on track, but like respecting the fact that they're still on track, which isn't necessarily an experience that I have on iRacing frequently. The second is that immediately after the race, the gentleman who collected me was like, "Look, I'm super sorry. Like that was 100% on me. I missed that you were recovering, and I just I fucked it. Whatever. I'm sorry." And you don't often see that in my experience on iRacing, where people are willing to own their incidents. I think that the four of us on here are willing to own our incidents. I've seen us all do it at some point or another. But and there absolutely are people out there, but maybe not the norm to see that. You usually just see the toxic meltdowns, people calling each other the R word and all that fun jazz. So yeah, it was a really fun race, and the community, I was very pleasantly surprised at how respectful the community was.
So, do you think you recommending that I do a SimGrid little ACC action sometime, or what?
Yeah, I think you'd have a lot of fun, Tom. Really, the issue with ACC
Is the tire
from our
model?
point of view is
What
that
you gonna say?
no.
No,
I think the
it's
tire
okay.
model. I don't think the tire model is going to be what decides whether you live or die on that sim. I think it's more understanding where the track limits are, and also setups are a really big deal on ACC, and there's not a whole lot of resources out there beyond Coach Dave Academy for the setups. So the setups can be a bit tricky, but unlike iRacing, the baselines are relatively competitive.
Interesting. I see they do some endurance cup. I'm looking at the SimGrid calendar, and they do a couple endurance cup things on Saturdays, which would be like midday Europe time, but actually like
Yeah.
doable for Americans. So it'd be 8 a.m. for us, Manny.
Honestly, I've always wanted to do an enduro on ACC. I would be absolutely down with that. Ace for SR car
only if
on
Nick joins
ACC
us.
enduro.
I've done one ACC enduro. Dave wrote me in really early days. We did an 8-hour Suzuka. We finished 5th. I had a lot of fun actually. That was good. We had a couple of really good sim races with us. James Baldwin, who is the McLaren Shadow driver.
Yeah, who won World's Fastest Gamer? I think it was last year, year before.
Yeah, and one other guy who's also like quite a good sim racer. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed that race. I still think like for me, ACC isn't where my heart lies.
Right.
Let's say like that, but I still have a lot of fun doing it, and I think, well, in general, we had a lot of fun. That was actually a good race, and KVDL sent me a message the day after and said we need to rope some more boys in and do that like once a week, just kind of get a few more
Just
of
shoot the
those
shit,
races
yeah.
in. Yeah, because it was just good crack.
Yeah, my one of my favorite moments after I had been murdered was watching the last lap between you and David. Nick was hilarious when he just absolutely licked the stamp and tried to send it on you in the chicane, and you're
Okay.
like, "Not today."
Not happening.
Yeah, the day Nick concedes the inside line to someone is the day Nick dies.
How do they split in SimGrid? Do you have like a ranking? I know you kind of mentioned it, Nick. Is that how that works?
Look, ACC complexities are probably a bit lost on me, as are probably iRacing's, to be honest. But from what I understand, there's just slots at the moment. So until they have matchmaking and splits, it's just first in, best dressed.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think if there was like a time where
I'm actually
Just-
gonna check this out. Let's look at the schedule.
just have a
I
have a
would be
go and
really
bounce.
interested in doing one of these, Tom. Like, and honestly, Nick, if you're up for it, fuck, bro, we should do it. I mean, there's no iRating at stake, so it doesn't matter functionally
So
speaking.
exactly right. What you just said is exactly why you had fun, because there was just absolutely no stress, and that's why the racing's good, because the guy doesn't mind giving up a spot because he's not like, "Fuck, I'm gonna lose like 10 IR," and that's exactly what's wrong with iRacing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could just do hosted, Nick. Could be a league racer.
It's really a double-edged sword, isn't it, Nick? Like, what makes iRacing great is the iRating
Also, what
system.
makes it shit.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
Because we just like to hit the nail on the head, and you know why I didn't even get involved in the conversation. You guys blasted on, and I realized like people work hard and grind for their for their iRating, but
Yeah.
like you have to. It's what you have to do. Like especially like in Brian's situation, it means everything to be a pro sim racer, but it shouldn't. Like, and the why you guys cracked on for 10 minutes about how good your iRatings are and blah blah blah, but you know you have to put mega hours and effort into it. Even like what we're talking about with Chili Bowl, just to try and make the same split for a laugh. Like fuck, we shouldn't be like worried about grinding for
No.
2 weeks just so you can get to 2K so you can race midgets.
So we can
with me and
race
Tom for
together with
shits
our
and
friends,
giggles.
yeah.
And I realized that like, oh, okay, we can do a hosted, but who the fuck wants a hosted that will have like 6 people in it? It's just us.
I
We
agree.
don't even have
Yeah.
that many friends. It's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So
But what's the solution?
there isn't one at the moment, and
There's-
that's exactly
It's saying
right.
there's
Then
too
you-
many people in iRacing.
No, not true.
No. It's that the situation with iRacing and how important iRating is. Again, it's the best part about iRacing because it means that in theory, in a highly populated enough race, you're going to have some of like the hardest, closest racing you'll ever have. But the flip side of that is that your iRating means everything for deciding how competitive or implying how clean your race may be.
And you can attest to this, right? The GT4 race that the 4 of us did was spot on for that. You were complaining because an 18 car out-qualified you. So what?
Yeah, who cares?
Better. You know,
Yeah,
I was a 4 car and I
dude
qualified
locked in.
last.
Yeah,
Like,
dude
who
locked
cares?
in a good lap. Absolutely.
And
I'm sure he felt he
outraced
was
you,
probably
outpaced
really
you.
he's probably super excited when he did it.
And the
Well-
guy that I was, and me and Leroy, I think Leroy was like the
11 or
12
12,
16
yeah.
car. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? I think that's what's a bit lost in the game. Like, that guy's 20 car. Like when you're racing CFix, 24 car will smoke that clown. What's to say? Like I've been a 24 car in CFix before. Brian's probably been a 24 car in the last couple of weeks in a CFix and hosed
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do think it's probably a little bit different for you, Nick, because like IR is probably not going to be a tool for you because you're not going to go for like any sort of high level competition. Like
And
even
this is where I think you absolutely need it, and you need to work hard and grind for something. But I don't think like, you know, a guy. Let's take, I don't know. Let's just take a random guy. His name's Bob.
Maynard.
Bob the Builder. Maynard, right?
Bob the
Maynard's got like 8 kids to take care of. He's got shotgun shells that need shooting, beers shotgun. You know what I mean? He don't got time to grind iRating. But put the guy in Homestead, Miami, he wins the race every time. So
Yeah.
if there's a Road to Pro race in Miami, why should Maynard not be allowed to start the race when he's probably like one of the fastest guys there?
Well,
I
a lot of
really
people
wish
say
for-
snake splits.
Yeah. I don't think snake splits are the way.
I mean, I
For
don't
really
necessarily
important
either,
races,
But,
I'd like to see, and it'll never happen because it's too
This
much
is-
work. It's a ton
This
of
is actually like,
infrastructure.
I know, this is crazy. I'm talking stuff that's kind of well beyond what we're set up to do. But I'm interested to hear, even
no,
from
it's a good
Brian's side,
conversation.
like, because like the iRating stuff to Brian means everything at the moment. But
Yeah, and it's
just
awful.
like, yeah, if he's working, he doesn't have like an extra hour like your other blokes in PESE have all day to just grind. You know, how do we level that playing field?
What I think we should do for big events, meaning special events, pro weeks, pro series, what have you. I'd like to see a pre-qualifying system similar to what leagues like Sports Car Open and Neo Endurance have.
Or even if
where-
you think about like IndyCar.
Exactly,
that's
that's what I was saying. The 500 qualifying, right?
Yeah, well, qualifying is just one lap, so you can
Not for
definitely have-
Indianapolis.
Well, okay, 4 laps, but still, you can have people that can string together a quali run, but aren't that quick of a race run or aren't safe over a race run, not
Yeah, can't
confident.
race for shit. Yeah,
Exactly. What I'd
don't have
like
to be
to
Christian
see
here.
is use the existing time trial system. Actually, that could work. Set up a 10-lap
Mhm.
run with no incidents, or for ovals, a 25-lap run or something like that. And the top people, the top times of those runs get into the race.
couldn't that
For
encourage
team races,
just
it could
more
be like
time,
the top
though?
2 people of the race.
Couldn't that be just
That's cool.
encourage more time for people who can just run tons of
Yeah.
time trial sessions?
I'm with Tom, right? So for me, if it was like that, Manny would get in and I wouldn't. But I'll outrace Manny every day of the week. Sorry, bro.
No, that's a statement of fact.
Well, I don't know about that. If you'll outrace Manny, you'll have more pace. I'm assuming you mean more pace.
No, not
And-
necessarily. I'm
Okay.
always slower than Manny in oval.
Sure. So this is just a fact of racing. I mean, in the Super Cup, I typically race my way forward. I typically move forward from where I start. But if I have a bad qualifying lap, it doesn't matter. Right? That's just going to be a fact of racing no matter where we turn. And I think a time trial system like that would at least accurately gauge race pace. So to a much larger extent, without an entire tournament system to pre-qualify, we can't take into account every bit of a person's skill at a track. And that's not feasible because that would take an incredible amount of investment from
Totally.
everybody involved.
Yep.
But a basic time trial system like this would at least get much closer to the group of people that deserve to be in the race, actually in the race.
Well, I mean, I think you'd be right on more than just one lap, because I think about both when we did PAX and then when I did the Corvette thing, which is basically a hot lap session to get in, right? And in my opinion, particularly the Corvette one, which is US only, there was guys that probably just grinded like literally like 15 hours to try to get a lap,
Mm-hmm.
And no offense to them, like great on qualifying, but like some of the guys in that field were, I mean, they're racing like Wyatt Gooden at the front. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, there was like guys with, again, not to say that someone's iRating is what they are, but they raced like they had 1.9 like 1,000 IR, and their race place looked like it. So like, yeah, maybe they could put up one hot lap in if they put enough time in, but like they're not on a lap tap basis, maybe on pace. So like, I don't know, I worry about that maybe. And maybe like, yeah, multiple lap time trial would be better.
More than validates just what Brian said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it'd be better at multiple laps. But I do think
I
that
think-
iRating often is at least a pretty good indicator.
I think even as a starting point, which is I think what Brian gets at, like even the time trial system where 10 average of 10 clean laps, that would still be better than the current system. I think that's a fair thing to
It'd be
say.
interesting. I think it would be a cool. It would. I think that might be awesome to get in an RTB split. That might be fun. Although racing an oval is so important, like the racecraft. But I
Oh,
think it's an
absolutely.
interesting
Mhm.
idea. I think like the way that Indy 500, you can have like 0 I rating and get in top split if you run a hot queue. It's interesting.
Yeah, and this is something that I've thought about before, which is why I can talk about it now pretty confidently. The reason I'm saying a 10-lap time trial, not some other more involved system, is the 10-lap time trial seems like something that's it's easy enough to implement. It's easy enough for people to do.
Because it's taking an existing system for how people SR farm for like license promotions.
Yeah, and it's not requiring you to show up at 9:30 p.m. for 3 days before the race
Right.
to
Now
have a heat race or
That
something.
is a
Why
good.
don't
that is a good
you
reason.
why don't you set it that you only get like something like that? You only get 2 goes at 3 goes.
2 attempts,
You're
yeah.
fine too.
Attempt limitation, I think, are also
Yeah.
a really good idea.
You get say it's like what Brian said, 15, 20 laps on a road and 30 laps on an oval, or 15 and 30, something like that.
Yeah.
And you get 2 attempts. And if you cook it, then cook it. Like,
And the thing is,
just
for most road tracks, even the 10 lap, it would be enough where you're not going to be on fresh tires for lap 10 and you will feel the difference.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I
So
think
you will have to show some semblance of talent to make that 9th and 10th lap work.
I think
most
of
likely.
a VRS quality, like how many dudes can jam a lap in, and then after
Absolutely.
6, 7
Yeah.
laps, they've just blown up by the pit stop. They're just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
I think 2 attempts might be a little thin, just because 10 laps with no incidents, no off tracks, is not representative of what you're expected to do.
Well,
in a race.
what if you time trial usually has like an hour limit, and then it takes your best string of 10 laps. You just have 2 of those.
Okay,
You know what I
from
mean?
one session.
Yeah, actually, that
Yeah.
I would
That would
I would
work.
So
agree
you
with
get
that.
2 sessions. So you actually get 2 hours of putting together a string of 10 laps. It seems
Yeah.
it seems
I
reasonable.
disagree. I like the idea of pressure behind just doing that
Delivering
run.
the goods,
Yeah,
right?
because it's the same as
Well,
the pressure in the
I
race.
think
no?
it's more exciting. But if you're looking at strictly what's going to get the best guys on pace in the race, that you might not.
But then you're just getting grinders, and then we're back to square one.
It's possible. There's always a limit, I guess. There's always a limit. It's an interesting conversation, and I think the iRating system probably works perfectly for 80%, 90% of the user base.
95%.
Yeah, maybe more. And we're talking about people that want to get top split in big events and do world championships, which is a very small percentage, I think, that even attempt it.
Right.
So I understand iRating's unwillingness to change for those small people, but however, those small amount of people are fighting for like what, almost $1 million now?
Yeah, exactly.
So-
It's
Right. And
massive.
the problem is these levels are where the iRating matters the most, because now we're talking sponsor money, getting on broadcasts, different prize money, things like that. And it's where the iRating system works, is least functional.
That actually reminds me. I'll see if I can find it. But we did the math on one day to figure out kind of what we should be charging for sponsors, and even our Billy operation, the amount of impressions that we're getting via broadcasts, in no small part thanks to Tom's work in getting onto those broadcasts, but we're getting thousands of impressions a month just from broadcasts.
Yeah.
And
During-
when you're
Awesome.
trying to market that to potential sponsors, I remember we had one person who inquired about sponsoring the team, and when we explained just how much exposure that they were getting, they didn't. I think they grossly underestimated how many people are paying attention to sim racing now, and the fact that impressions cost money.
It's a massive platform. And it's actually good to see. Like, I think what's happened in the world over the last 12 months, it's been good to see guys who probably would never have touched a sim in their life get on board and go, oh shit, how good's this? How good's like turning laps with these dudes and getting involved in the community and stuff. Like TK is probably one of those
The
guys
best
that
example.
comes massively to mind. Like what he's been involved in. Every time I go on iRace, which isn't that much lately, but there's a TK practice session up. Dude's just grinding, loving it. He's always driving. He's always racing.
He's streaming a lot too now, and he
haven't seen that,
interacts
but
with
yeah.
Chas all the time. He's
Yeah.
in Quirkatai's chat at least a couple nights a week, just
What
hanging
an
out.
animal.
Like
It's
That's
it's
awesome.
really cool. Like this is a guy who I would never have thought of outside of IndyCar and the occasional IMSA race.
Why
like
isn't he
like
hanging
this
on
is
our chat?
this is probably a guy that like 8 months ago never would have bothered sim racing. And it's just open doors, open the world to what's here, and it's bringing more money and attention into the sport, which gives guys like Brian and all these guys that are world championship level more exposure, more money, more opportunity, and then also kind of opens the door for people to realize that, hey, if they're good at this, they can grind a bit harder. But this is where I'm talking about, like, now that there is money involved, the guys that need to transition from, part-time sim racers to full-time sim racers and are good enough to make that transition. They're the guys that are kind of a bit behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. I think we can end on that, guys. Anyone you got last minute thoughts? I think it was well said, Nick. I don't have an answer, but it's a good question. It's a good
Can
statement.
we clip that?
Yes. Yes, we can.
It was a great answer. I mean, fuck. This has been weird. We just had an entire targeted hour discussion on
Sim racing.
Incredible.
unbelievable. We really were a podcast about racing today. Holy shit.
Let's see. I'm gonna try it, Nick. You nailed it out of the park last time.
I may have a special guest next week. I'm
Ooh.
hoping that
Oh,
he responds to me. He's going to watch the pod tomorrow, and
That's a
maybe
mistake,
he
but
comes on board. He's a nice guy.
Mm.
He's a big streamer. Shout out if he's listening. I won't say his name because I don't want to scare him off. He's actually one of my favorite streams to watch at the moment. Yes, I'm a Bandit Twitch stream watcher.
Interesting.
Dark Horse Closet watcher. And this dude, when he's on, I love watching him. Classic, like just fun, loves it. And
Am I
grinds.
allowed to ask whether it's who I'm thinking about based
Manny,
on our
no,
conversations this week?
Stop.
No.
No.
No. Okay.
Nick, do you watch mostly racing stuff, or do you watch like all kinds of game streams? Just out of curiosity.
Just racing, and literally I just jump into their chat, spray them like a few times, and they leave.
Okay.
But I like watching.
Sure. It's Bandit action. Absolutely.
And it's probably something you didn't give a shit about before our current world situation, correct?
But actually, the podcast has probably opened my eyes more to it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Wow. The
Someone plug
podcast has
that.
added value to Nick Foster's life. I think we can end it on that.
Okay. Well, this has been Here for SR, a podcast about Tony Stewart jackets, C-Fix races, and pulling world-class road sim racers into the Oval family. Ready, Nick? I'm going to do the bit. You can listen on all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcatcher. You can watch on YouTube, live on Twitch, to ask Nick really dumb questions about his personal life.
One more? You're missing one?
You can go to the website at hereforsr.com, the number
One
4.
more? One more?
Oh, one more. Oh, and join the Discord. There's a link
he's
below.
got it.
There's a link below.
What a guy.
and-
Well done.
And if you're not watching the video, it's probably just in the text description. So I think I got it all. Did I get it all?
Wow. You're actually almost a host. It's only taken 12 episodes. We'll
Ugh.
get there.
And
4 months of our lives we'll never get back.
And I'm
Nick.
gonna try to do a special yet this week. So no spoilers on that, but I'm gonna try to do one. Whether or not
need
Nick or
to,
Manny join in on that,
We
we'll
need
see.
to rope Maynard, Brian, everyone that we can, and stream a C fixed, I reckon.
That would be fun.
Oh my
That would
God.
be
it's,
fun.
it's Dagger week. It's Dagger
That'd be
week.
mega.
The 87s are at Talladega this coming week
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
it's
Ah.
Sega in 87s, which is going to be hectic. It's going to
We
be
do
so
it.
much fun.
That's it. Streaming C fix, baby. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we'll put it in the Discord. A time that we'll all do it and really do some stupid meme stuff. Nick will wreck you. Whatever.
100%.
He'll wreck you.
Almost
I'm
guaranteed.
not sure if you should be running the Here For Us R livery. If he's less
Oh,
likely to
now
wreck you.
now he should.
Not
Now
sure.
he absolutely should.
But watch out for that. Watch out for him.
Just make me a special one that says like not before the here.
Like in green text, flaming text. or something.
Absolutely green. Yeah,
Okay.
to match my green flames and green wheels.
I'll work on that. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was fun.
Toodles.
Laters.